Dear listeners, picture this. A founder sits in front of a dashboard filled with AI tools they paid for 6 months ago, and nobody on the team uses them. The metrics haven't changed, the team is confused, and the founder is wondering, like, what went wrong? The answer is not in the technology. It is in what happened before the technology arrived. More often, like what didn't happen. So, welcome to Mind Meets Machine. I'm your host, Avik, and this is the podcast that exists in the space where human awareness meets the systems we build. We don't chase hype here. We'll look at what's real, what's useful, and what helps us stay human while the machines do their part. Right. So, I'm joined by today a very, very lovely guest. Please welcome Mykel Salomon. So, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Avik. It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me.
Amazing. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us, Michael. And dear listeners, like before we get into the discussion, I'll quickly love to introduce you to Michael. So he is a global customer experience executive and the founder of the Human Protocol Group, where he helps CEOs and founders find where AI actually fits in their business before they waste money on the tools their teams won't use. It's a very, very great conversation that we have lined up today. So why to wait? Let's get started. So Michael, like I mean, tools are the things. I mean, I believe it's a very very hype thing these days. But there's this assumption that if you are not using AI, you are falling behind. But
hmm
but you seem to suggest the opposite. Like the problem happens more often. So what do you think? I mean, it's the most common mistake that you see leaders making when they bring AI into their business.
Yeah, so Avik, some of the main issues and challenges that we're seeing today is the lack of
Mm-hmm.
understanding
Okay.
of what is that the organization or the business want to accomplish. Is the lack of clarity that leadership has on what are the goals, meeting on long-term goals that they want to accomplish. And then after that, that's when you're trying to put a project together, a comprehensive project on how you're going to accomplish those. And AI is part of it, but it's not the only part of this transformation. AI is a business transformation, it's not a technology transformation. And this is part of the misconceptions that we have. Still people today treating this as a technology transformation when it's actually a business transformation. Let me tell you and your audience why it is a business transformation initiative, because it's not a rip and replace type of technology that you just replacing a previous technology and putting a new one. AI will transform how your business operates, will transform the ability that your people and your workforce has to communicate with AI, to use and leverage AI to accomplish those target goals that you set yourself for. And this is what it makes it more complicated, because it's not only a tool and the technology part of it that we need to pay attention to. It's also what is going to happen at the human side level with that workforce that is not only going to be responsible for manual tasks that they were used before, but responsible for working with these new machines and these new piece of codes and applications that are going to be embedded on their day-to-day. So roles will transform and will continue to transform as we start leveraging AI more and more and embedding AI into organizations' processes. The human beings, we have been used to owning tasks, right? And be responsible for accomplishing tasks from beginning to end. With the arrival of AI, this is shifting and this is changing, and very rapidly, because now us humans, we are going to be responsible for the work that AI is doing in our organization. So it's not only humans anymore, it's humans plus machines. And we all need to come into the realization that this is what this new feature will come through. And part of the whole conversation, Avik, is that unless we take the time to really understand as at the organization level, what are the goals that you're going to set for, how you're going to get there, and putting the hard work to really start analyzing what are the roles that will continue to be the way they are, and what are the roles that are going to change, and having conversation with your people to really understand what it's in there for them. And that's its hard work. It's not easy work, because roles and the job that we do will continue to be changed because of AI. And that conversation needs to happen. at the leadership level, at the manager level, at the individual contributor level, because we are all together in this one way or the other. And it's important.
Exactly. I agree. I totally agree. And I mean, so when someone comes to you, kind of excited about a tool they
Mhm.
just discovered, so then what is the first thing you ask them?
It's what are your goals? What do you want to
Okay.
achieve as an organization?
Mm.
Part of the conversation, and depending on the type of organization, it leaders hyper focus on return on investment, and they think AI will get them efficiency gains, and due to efficiency gains they're going to cut cost, right? But there is another part of this conversation that businesses are missing. The real win in
Mm.
all this is not only the efficiency gains, but it's actually the business transformation and how you're going to continue to leverage your people's skill to route them towards where you can increase the revenue for your company.
Mm.
So the time that we're going to have because of AI is automating some of our processes, it's time that you can refocus for your people to add value to your business. And value meaning business value added activities that can increase your revenue. So we're not only talking about efficiency gains because of automations, we are talking also about expanding the revenue of your company by routing those skills and that workforce to make more money for you. So that's also the part of the conversation that I try to shift the focus towards when I work with CEOs, so they understand that the clarity in all this that I bring to the table is making sure that they understand that hyper focus on cost efficiencies is very lazy. It's a very type of lazy leadership that I don't recommend. I try to expand that horizon into how you can leverage that time that your team will have now because of AI probably took on some of them and shift it towards business related and operational tasks that can increase revenue instead. So a cost efficiency is great. We're not complaining there. But we all should be also pursuing more revenue for your company so you can continue to grow the business. And they will continue to need people to achieve that. And that's my piece in all this as part of the Human Protocol Group, Avik. What I try to bring is this type of clarity for businesses so they understand we are going to accomplish cost efficiencies. We are going to be as efficient as you can be. But I also need you to understand that with the help of your people, we can put in the work and that will translate into more revenue for your company if we shift the focus and the time that they have left now. So, those are the things that I focused on as part of my discovery with them.
That's interesting. Yep. Ooh, I mean, I think what strikes me here is like how often we reach for the solutions that before we even understand the question we are trying to answer. It's like buying a hammer because everyone says hammers are the future, and then realizing that you don't actually have any nails.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
It
So,
happens. It
yeah,
happens in our daily lives, right? It's like sometimes we buy things that we don't need, and
exactly,
sometimes we buy things that we need, but we don't use it
exactly.
because we don't know how to, because no one has shown us the reason why you need that tool. So all that is part of this puzzle and this conversation that with time we will continue to figure it out and we'll get there for sure.
Exactly. And you have worked across multiple continents, like leading support operations in very different cultural contexts. So, when you look beneath the surface, what do you think causes this rush to adopt technology without clarity?
Because usually on the business side, technology and transformation coming from technology has been linked to more efficiency, modernization, the ability to continue to leverage technology to advance organization goals. It's not different with AI. What happens with AI and what makes it different than the rest is that AI is touching every single area of our personal and professional lives. It's not the piece of technology that is static, it's a piece of technology that you can leverage in multiple areas at the same time. That's what makes this more special in a way, if I can say special or treat it as a special technology. Because the use case right? The use cases where you can use AI are really unlimited. And that's why it's called artificial intelligence, because the intelligence part of it, it's continuing to improve. It continues to learn. It continues to self-correct. And you have a piece of technology that it's learning and improving as it goes. And the more you use it, the more you're finding where to leverage that in your organization. And no one wants to be left behind. It happens the same. You see this race, right, Abid, between countries, between AI companies, between companies. Everybody needs to find more and more efficiency and how to run their businesses leaner, more efficient, because if they don't do it, their competition will do it and they will get out of business, right? So it's not a matter of should we be doing it at this point. It is really a matter of when you need to start. And the answer to that is as soon as you can, because your competition will start doing it. They will find a way to operate with more efficiencies, to leverage AI to cut prices in a way on their production. And at the end of the day, business is competition, right? It's your demand, it's what you're able to deliver. So it's really not a matter of should we do it. It's a matter of when are we starting and how. This is how the important part of it. I don't recommend people and businesses to jump on it before understanding what is it that you want to achieve. And that's where I assess and help CEOs to fully understand this is the clarity that I need. And this is how we are going to put the strategy around it. And this is what communication to the organization looks like. This is what roles reassignment look like or reinvention looks like. And all has to come from that clarity on what are the goals that the organization wants to accomplish.
It's interesting. Yeah. Yep. So if we talk about our daily life, right? So if someone is listening, runs a small team or a growing company, how does this lack of clarity actually show up in their day-to-day operations?
Lack of clarity today, it's everywhere. When people don't know what they don't know, for example, what they don't know, what they want to do with the tool, when they are not shown what you can do with the tool, because at the end of it, it's humans adopting a piece of technology, right? We have human beings that are curious by nature, and curiosity drives a lot of adoption and a lot of what I can do with it. You have other human beings that they want more hand holding in a way. Hey, show me how to. And, we're putting on the personal side, but the same thing happens in organizations. This is why it's so important to have a structured communication and plans on how to get to adoption, right? How to work with your people, how to give them not only the tools, but the ability for them to play with it, see what works, and continue to leverage the tool to empower them to keep moving. So it's the same at the personal level, depending on who you are as a human being and how do you like to play with these tools comes into a lot of that. And at the end of the day, it's a human being working with a piece of technology, right? Or you try to do it yourself, or you try to find help on how to get there.
Exactly. So, and I mean, what does it feel like for the people on the team when a new tool lands without that clarity?
Waste of money. If I have worked with businesses and CEOs, for example, that when I get there, they tell me, okay, we already have the technology, already have the subscriptions, the licenses. Everyone at the company has a license. Okay. I hoped you could have called me before you did that. Because what happened is, Avic, you make this purchase, you spend a lot of money on licenses, and then no one is using it. So
Exactly.
I have this customer that I started working with, and then the first thing he told me was that, and then okay, give me a report on how many licenses, how many people, and let's see a usage report. That was the first thing that I did. Almost 88% of people that had a license for the chatbot never use it. Never even accessed to use it. That's 88% of money that went to waste for this time, because you have most of your people that are not using it because they never adopted, they never knew what they was good for, they never received instruction on this is what you needed. This is what we want you to start working with. We have 88% of people that maybe some of them, they never used it because they are afraid. They never received clarity from leadership on why they needed to use it. They have a lot of people as well, Avik, that are not adopting because they're only hearing in the news layoffs, layoffs, layoffs. How are you going to adopt a tool where you think it will replace you, right? So
Exactly.
there's so many angles and different parts of this conversation that the core of it is the lack of clarity at the leadership level, the lack of clear communication on what are the company plans and what does it mean for you, the human being, at the end of all this, doing your job and watching this project started without you knowing what happens with your future. That's the clarity that I bring to leaders. Don't keep the humans at the end of this conversation. Your human workforce is the one that will continue to work with you and AI. So they need to be part of this conversation from the very beginning. From the very beginning.
So, if you have to give one advice to the listeners today, what that would be?
One advice regarding AI.
Yeah, I mean AI and in general also.
The advice that I would give, because we're talking about AI today, and who knows what's going to be tomorrow, right? Tomorrow may be a totally different technology that we're going to be discussing. But you and I, Avik, and your audience, we're still going to remain and be humans, right? So my advice to your audience that is watching us today and trying to make sense of all this with AI, what is happening, what is in it for me. Remember, there's going to always be a light at the end of the tunnel. Today it's AI, tomorrow maybe it's something different. But what you can do is to try to prepare yourself for whatever the challenges that come our way. And that means learn new skills, use the tool, try to see how it can help you to be more efficient. Learn with it, use it as your co-pilot. You would be amazed on the things that you can create with the help of AI. Try to use it as a way to augment what you can do and what you cannot do. And continue to be curious and creative. Creativity, it's something that it's a human skill, right? It's something that will continue to set us apart from any machine in the future. And be curious, go with it, learn, ask questions, and talk to your peers, talk to your colleagues, debate. Let's try to make this future the best we can for all of us.
Right. And how they can connect. What would be the better medium?
Yes, the best and easiest way to connect with me is via my website. It's the humanprotocolgroup.com. And if you can add it on your CTA when the episode goes out, that would be great, Avik. And you can also find me on LinkedIn. It's Mykel Salomon, YKEL SALOMON. Those are the easiest way to get in contact with me.
Amazing. So, dear listeners, what I'll do is I'll put all the links, details, everything into the show notes for easy reference. And I'd say like clarity first, tools second, and humans are always right. So,
always first.
Exactly, humans first. Yeah. So, Mykel, I mean, thank you so much for being here, sharing your perspectives, and this is really a very great topic this time because this will help people to actually identify the value of human, right? So somehow we sometimes we forget about the value of human in this AI era, but it is very important. So thank you so much for sharing that, and thank you everyone for being here, for listening, and I hope that this leaves you with something very useful. Not a kind of new tool to try, but maybe a better question to ask, the kind that helps you see like what's already in front of you, right? So that's where the real work begins. And yeah, with this is your host Avik, and this is Mind Meets Machine. I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Avik.